Hello Yu-Gi-Oh players and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! In Business Casual. I am your host, the RJB0. Today I am sitting in front of this spifftastic, fancy smancy fish tanky thingy, because I'm probably going to look pretty boring in this video, and you guys probably need some shiny, fun fish in the background to entertain you guys, and B, because it's kind of appropriate, considering that today I am concluding the Atlantean Challenge, which means that I get to showcase some of my awesome subscribers and their creative power by giving you guys the deck profiles and some discussions on their extremely cool budget Atlantean decks, and then I get to roll this die instead of this die, since I'm beginning to suspect that this thing always rolls a 5, in order to determine who gets some packs of Abyss Rising and Cosmo Blazer. So the first thing I want to say is I'd like you guys to give me some feedback on the contest itself. I realize that, although this is very fun for me, I really love giving out free stuff and giving you guys these challenges and participating in them myself and seeing what you guys come up with. I'm doing this for you guys since I'm giving you guys the free stuff, and I'm hoping to give you guys a little more fun out of this. So I'd like to find out what you guys think. Do you think that I should add on more prize support? Do you guys think that I should conduct the contest itself differently? Just give me some ideas for some contests and challenges you guys would like to see. And just shoot me some feedback and some discussion in the comments, because I was kind of surprised to see that only 4 people entered to this contest. Without further ado, let's get to those 4 people. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I have very limited time, so I can't do all the deck profiles for these guys or the deck discussions because they take a very long time. And I don't want to downplay any of the decks at all because they were all very great. They all accomplished the challenge in different ways, in very cool ways. It's just 2 of them were very basic, very easy, very cheap to make, which was great. That was definitely the goal. And I didn't have a lot that I needed to discuss about these decks because they're very straightforward. I will have the profile to one of them and the link to the video response for the other in the description. You guys should definitely check them out. They're very cool if you want to make a very basic Atlantean and very cheap Atlantean deck that's also very effective. That's the way to go. But the ones I want to describe may not even be the most effective out of all of them, but they're definitely the most fun to talk about. So the first one that I want to go over came from a guy named with the username LeeChowlin15. I really hope that I'm not butchering your name, but I probably am. What LeeChowlin sent me was a deck that I thought was absolutely crazy at first, and then I kind of thought about it and I realized that it was actually pretty cool. It's an Ice Barrier Atlantean deck. Now I'm just going to read off the deck profile very quickly, and then I'll do some discussion. First, you have 2 Strategists of the Ice Barrier, and then 2 General Guntala of the Ice Barrier, and 2 Prior of the Ice Barrier, 1 Samurai of the Ice Barrier, and 1 Defender of the Ice Barrier, and then 3 Deep Sea Diva, 3 Genex Undying, 2 Genex Controller, 1 Atlantean Dragoons, 2 Atlantean Marksman, 1 Atlantean Heavy Infantry. Your spells are 3 Medallion of the Ice Barrier, 1 Allure of Darkness, 2 Surface, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, Heavy, and then 2 MSTs. Then your traps are 2 Torrential Tributes, 2 Compulsory Evacuation Devices, 1 Bottomless, 1 Mirror Force, 2 Trap Stun, and a Spiritual Water Art Aoi. Or Aoi, whatever. Your extra deck is 2 Gachi Gachi Gentetsu, 1 number 17 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Photon Papilloperative, 1 Sea Dragon Lord Gashilnadon, which is the level 5 that boosts up small water monsters. And you've got 1 Ally of Justice Catastor, 1 Dulorn Tiger King of the Ice Barrier, 1 Gungnir Dragon of the Ice Barrier, 1 Stardust Dragon, and 1 Scrap Dragon. So this deck looks weird, and it is weird, but it actually works very effectively. So your main engine in the deck surrounds your Genex Undines and your Priors of the Ice Barrier. Genex Undyne allows you to access your Atlanteans in your deck if you need to take out some cards on the field or do some searching. It also allows you to put your General Guntalas in the graveyard very early. Now, General Guntala is a very important card to this deck because if you summon it from the graveyard with Prior of the Ice Barrier, if you just summon it at all, it can summon any Ice Barrier monster from your graveyard to your side of the field during the end phase, which is extremely good because that means you can summon your Gungnir, you can summon your Strategist that allows you to deck thin. If you've got that dead Guntala in your hand, you can discard it and draw another card. It allows you to go for your Samurai and allows you to go for Gungnir plays more conveniently, and can also get your Gungnir from the graveyard. So can your 2 Priors. So having that Genex Undyne send your Guntala to the graveyard or your Atlanteans to the graveyard allows you to get your combos much more quickly, and then gets your controller to your hand, which you can use for Allure of Darkness or Synchro for your Gungnir very easily. The kind of scanty Atlantean lineup actually works very well for the deck. You aren't going to be doing a whole lot of discarding Atlanteans, but you can send them to the graveyard for Undyne or for Gungnir's effect and get their effects off that way. But you don't want to be drawing into too many Atlanteans for this deck to work out very well. And then you've got your 3 Deep Sea Diva, which allows you to go into your Gotchis. It allows you to go into your Catastor. It allows you to go into Gungnir much more easily. That's why they have the 2 Marksmen, and so it's much more likely that you get to go into Gungnir that turn. So very effective deck, very cool, very strange. I'd definitely like to try it out myself in the near future, and I encourage you guys to check out his channel and subscribe to him and try out this deck yourself sometime. The next one I want to talk about, the other one I want to talk about, came from my friend, the guy who plays Salvo, who you will probably see a lot more of this week since I'm inviting him to work with me on this very show and discuss some things, and you've probably also seen a lot of his comments on my videos. So he likes to make a lot of weird things. He was one of the first people to work with me on Machina Mash, which you guys should definitely check out my deck profile for. But what he came up with, I absolutely love because it is just the weirdest thing he could have possibly made. What it is Spirit Atlanteans. Now stay with me for a moment. It actually works very well. The lineup for the Atlantean part is pretty standard. You've got your 3 Deep Sea Diva and your 2 Dragoons, 2 Marksmen, 2 Infantry, and then you've got 2 Mermail Abysspikes for to add consistency, 2 Dragon Ice because it allows you to pop your opponent's boss monsters when they summon them. Using Infantry, it allows you to take out back row. Just tons of good things that you can do with Dragon Ice, and it gives you pluses and gives you field presence. And then the other fun thing with Abysspike, and this is where it gets weird, is that Abysspike can search out Izanami, which is a spirit monster whose effect is, she's water, she's level 3, and her effect is you can discard 1 card from your hand to add a spirit monster from your graveyard to your hand. What that means is you can discard your Atlantean monsters to get either one of your 2 Yakshas or your 2 Tsukiyomis from your graveyard to your hand, and that gives you a plus. Now, Yaksha is a 1900 beater that can bounce back row, so it can just clear the field. It gives you a little more control, gives you a little beatdown power. Tsukiyomi allows you to run over monsters like Ryo more easily, takes out Dark Arm, can take out Gungnir. There are a lot of monsters in the current meta that can be taken out by way of Tsukiyomi. It even gets rid of Ophion if you have, say, Mermail Abysspike on the board. So it's a very good card, and it's a very good lineup. And the spirits actually work better with some cards later on and allow you to get some control. But the rest of the monster lineup is just 2 Maxis, 2 Veilers, 2 TGUs, 2 Tour Guides, and then 2 Atlantean Cloudian Poison Clouds. Cloudian Poison Cloud works a lot like Snowman Eater in that it can destroy monsters on your opponent's side of the field during the damage step, but it also deals some burn damage, and more importantly, it's a target for Tour Guide, which allows you to go into your Zen mains, which he has later, or you can also use it to discard for Abysspike's effects. So there are a lot of cool things that you can do with that Cloudian Poison Cloud. Now, the spells and traps are where you get into the spirit control, because the spells are very interesting. You only run 5, and you only run 2 different spells. You've got 3 Salvage. It's the best card in the deck. It allows you to recycle basically every play you've got. It allows you to recycle your Izanamis, and it allows you to recycle your Atlanteans and your Divas, so you can basically go +1 every time you draw a Salvage and get a lot of advantage out of that. And then 2 creature swaps is very effective with spirits, because you summon a spirit, you swap with your opponent's monster, and then you get your spirit back during the end phase, and your opponent doesn't keep any, or doesn't get to get their own monster back, so you go at plus with that creature swap. So it's a very effective choice of spell cards. And he doesn't really need anything else, because he can basically get everything back with either Salvage or use your Atlanteans to keep control of the field. It's a very good choice. If anything that I would add to this, I'd probably add a pot of Avarice so that you could recycle all your combos. But it's generally effective, and your trap cards, once again, a very interesting choice. 3 Legacy of Yada Garasu, because no matter what you do with your Legacy of Yada, you're going to go at plus. If your opponent MSTs it during their turn, you chain, you draw a card, you go at plus off of their MST. If they don't, you can summon your Spirit Monster and then activate Legacy of Yada and then draw 2 cards. So you always plus off of your Legacy of Yada. It allows you to do a ton of deck thinning, gets you much more card advantage, and allows you to keep advantage over your opponent. So it's a great card. And then 2 Compulsory and 2 Torrentials, and then the extra deck is a Gungnir, 2 Gotchis, and 2 Zenmains. So this deck is weird and cool and gets the job done, and I absolutely love it, and I think you guys should try it out. I will have, once again, I will have links to all their channels in the description. Absolutely, go ahead and subscribe to them, check out their videos. And now I get to do the best part, which is deciding who gets the packs. The way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to consider the guy who plays Salvo, number 1, Psych 3000, who is one of the more basic, cheaper profiles, Auditioning 1, who is the other. So Psych 3 will be number 2, Auditioning 1 will be number 3, and then number 4 will be Lee Challen, and I'll just roll my dice, and if I roll 5 or a 6, I will start over. So I am rolling now for the second place prize of 2 packs of either Abyss Rising or Cosmo Blazer, depending on their choice. Let's do this. And we get a 2, which means that it goes to Psych 3000. Congratulations to you. I'm going to drop my die and then roll for first place, which is 3 packs of Abyss Rising or Cosmo Blazer, your choice. And the winner is number 1, the guy who plays Salvo. So congratulations to him. I hope you guys get great pulls, and I hope that anybody who didn't participate in the challenge decides to do it next time and enjoyed this challenge specifically. Stick around this week. I'm going to be doing a lot of discussion on things like the Suppressor Dragons and why I, in the words of our dear former president, misunderestimated them. And I'm also going to be talking about Hidden Arsenal 7 with the guy who played Salvo. So stick around for more Yu-Gi-Oh! And Business Casual, and until then, I got a jet. See you guys later.